Hello and welcome to another video. I hope that you're all very well. I'm sure most of you have used the air conditioning system in a car, and if so, you may have noticed this switch nearby. On some cars there are two switches. Why is this switch so important, and what does it do? Well, firstly, the switch, if you look at the symbol, it's got a symbol of a vehicle and an arrow inside it. So it's recirculating the air. The switch is called the recirculation switch. And what it does, it recirculates the air inside the cabin, inside the car, and keeps it inside the car. With the recirculation switch on off, in other words, with the air coming in, that's exactly what happens. The outside air comes inside the vehicle and you get fresh air. So now that we know what these switches do, why are they so important? Well, let me give you an example. Let's assume it's a cold winter's day. It's snowing outside. You're feeling cold. You get in the car and it's freezing. You can hardly touch the steering wheel. The first thing most of us would do is turn on the heating. But what would you do with the recirculation switch? There may be a few of you out there thinking, well, it's going to be cold outside, so I definitely don't want fresh air coming in. I will have the recirculation switch on. Well, unfortunately, if you have the recirculation switch on, you will have mist building up on all your windows and you will not be able to see clearly. Now, you may be thinking, well, what's the point of being able to see clearly if I'm not going to be able to drive because I'm so cold? Well, the good news is that as long as your air conditioning system is working properly, you will not be cold, because the way it works is you get fresh air coming into the vehicle and then warming up and coming out of the blowers warm. So it depends on whatever setting you've got it on. So if you've got it on hot, you will get hot air blowing from the blowers. That's fantastic because you're getting fresh air from outside and it's warm, and at the same time you'll be able to keep the windows all clear. Let me give you one more example. Let's assume it's a really hot day and your car has been parked in the sun for the last few hours. You get in the car. As soon as you open the door, you feel the heat on your face. Again, most of us, the first thing we do is turn on the air conditioning on cold. But what would you do with the settings? Would you have the recirculation button on, or would you have it off? Now, again, there may be few of us out there thinking, I'll have the button off. I don't have the switch on because I want fresh air coming in. Now, it might be 30 degrees outside, but when you get into the car is so hot, it'll be 50 degrees. So with the AC on and the recirculation button switched off, within the first minute, the temperature will drop to 45 degrees. In the next minute, it'll drop to 40, and then 35, 30, 25, 20. So 6 minutes it will take you to drop the temperature from 50 degrees from when you first get into the car to 20 degrees. That's going to cause a lot of strain on the engine and is going to use a lot of fuel. And if your journey is going to last, let's say, an hour, for that hour, what you're really doing is you're pulling the air outside the car, which is 30 degrees, cooling it down to 20 degrees, and then blowing it in your face. So you're making, again, the engine work hard, and you're wasting a lot of fuel. It's not a bad idea if you've got money to throw around. If you haven't got money to throw around, I've got a better way. When you get into a hot car, the first thing you want to do is open your windows. With the windows open, have the AC on full blast. You'll get cold air coming in, and within the first minute, the temperature of the car will drop from 50 to 30 degrees at least. So it'll match the temperature outside the vehicle. You then close the windows. What do you do with the recirculation switch? You have it switched on. You want to keep the air inside the cabin, because in the next minute, the temperature will drop to 25, and then it'll drop to 20. So firstly, you're reducing the temperature from 50 to 20 in 3 minutes rather than 6 minutes. That's the first benefit. Second benefit, there is no strain on the engine, and you are not using extra fuel, because once the temperature, let's say, is 20 degrees inside the vehicle, and you want to keep it at 20, all you're doing is recirculating that air, and the AC is not working very hard at all. It's just running, just ticking over. The AC is only working hard when you expect it to get the hot air from outside, which is 30 degrees, and you want it to cool that down to 20 degrees. But if you want it to cool air at 20 degrees, which is already at 20, and you want to keep it at 20, then the AC is just ticking along nicely. So that's how you would use the recirculation switch. Are there any other benefits? Can you think of any other benefits for the recirculation switch? Well, let's assume that you're driving in slow-moving traffic and there's a large, let's say, truck in front of you blowing out dirty fumes, diesel fumes. What setting would you prefer to use it at? Well, me for one, whether it's a hot day or a cold day, it makes no difference. I do not want those fumes coming into my vehicle, and I would have the recirculation button switched on. Maybe just for 10-15 minutes, maybe just for 5 minutes, but as long as I'm stuck in that traffic with that dirty vehicle in front, I would have the recirculation button switched on. Well, I hope that's benefited you guys, that you've learnt about this recirculation switch, and I hope that you'll be using it. If you're a driving instructor, then maybe you want to consider teaching this to your pupils, because there are a lot of learner drivers who do not understand these switches because they are never taught them, and then these learner drivers become qualified drivers. Thank you for your time. Take care. Bye-bye.